Hey guys, and welcome back to Become a God, a constructed series where I play various decks on the ladder, try and figure out what the meta game is, and climb eventually to God rank, hopefully. And we'll be playing through a few decks throughout the series and also analysing my play as I go and making some comments on the meta game. But for this episode, I'm going to return to blue-red Gemshell. Now this list is based on the ESofDawn Meteor variant that I made a video about not too long ago. You can check that out. It's a deck spotlight, probably from about a month ago, maybe a bit longer than that. But yeah, I've taken out the Meteor because of the ramp decks being nerfed a bit, and I've added in an extra Ground Shaker, and I've added a cheeky Aurora's Creation to see how that works out. So this build isn't exactly set in stone yet. I'm still trying to figure out a few things with it, but overall I've been having a lot of success with it and a lot of fun. So let's get into some games and see how this deck performs. Alright guys, into our first game. I'm actually going to mulligan all of this. Might seem a bit odd, but I want a Divine Guardian. I always want Divine Guardian. And red cards primarily, because red cards are going to make up the bulk of my defensive options at the start. And then those Archons come into the game a little bit later, when I've played a few 7-cost plus cards that are very cheap 6/6s, or I draw multiples off the Gemshell Tortoise. Grimguard, okay, so this could be red combat or red yellow burn. Red yellow burn is actually a really frustrating deck to play against. But we did pick up the Divine Guardian, so looking pretty good so far. Do I go for the... I think I'd go for the Ground Shaker as well, because now I can just start double collecting. I'll take a lake here on the follow-up, and then we're going to be collecting off 2 wells, which means we're going to gain 4 Faeria back, and we can build up towards this Bold Bargainer. Now it does look like this is probably going to be red combat, which I'm absolutely fine with. I'd rather play against red combat than against red yellow burn. Don't have any healing in here. The Divine Guardians are pretty good against red yellow burn, but they're pretty good against everything, to be honest. Bomb Slinger Cypher's Wrath. Yep, that's what we're going to see here. So I really want to pick up another Ground Shaker now. Another Ground Shaker would be fantastic. Unfortunately, I find another Divine Guardian. Not what I want to see, I can tell you that. Alright, let's stop a Horsemaster play. And then we'll go for the Garadan next turn. Probably just go Windfall into Garadan. We don't get any value at the Bold Bargainer straight away, but it's not always possible. Goes into the Axe Grinder. Oh, Firestorm as well. Feels good. I might wait a turn, actually. Will my opponent extend any further than this, or do I need to cease this opportunity? Because my opponent goes up quite high on Faeria. Unfortunately, I mean, unless I just stick Garadan here to double collect for me. So I can maybe go into Windfall Garadan now, just to clear out the 4-1. And then I have the Garadan on the double collection side. I feel that's what I want to do here. And this lines up Garadan to either collect off the top well for us. And the one thing about Garadan, which you probably noticed in the Red Yellow Events video, Garadan's a good aggressive card. This could actually just win the game for me. From this position, it can go up the left-hand side, it can collect Faeria, then I can start applying pressure. And not using the Firestorm here also gives me an opportunity to draw a Ground Shaker, because none of these creatures pose any damage to me at the moment. They do collect Faeria, which is a little unfortunate, but it happens. I think I'm fine with that. Oh, that's a good card. I like that. Would you like to play some more cards, please? play another one, why not? +1, okay. Just respecting the fact I might have a Firestorm or something. So I'm going to take a draw here. Looks like a pretty good opportunity. Then we'll go for the Firestorm. Set up the Divine Guardian here. So now we're collecting off 3 wells. My opponent is sitting on a lot of Faeria. I am hoping this doesn't get killed so I can creation it, but we'll see. Creation is also really good for Gemshell tortoises as well. You'll get an extra value out of them. Groundshaker, Flameburst, Cypher Trap potentially. No, that's going to be it. Now I could move here. I could mountain and just play Ogre Battler. I quite like that. I don't need the creation this just yet. There's nothing for me to clear from the creation. I'm going to sit on this mountain and I'm going to pass. Ogre Battlers are really good against red combat because they got high life. And that's a bit of a problem for red combat in some situations. Gonna Firestorm. Yeah, feels kind of bad. +1. It's a Flame Burst from Garadan. Okay, so just let in the Battler rock here. That's fine. I guess I'll take a draw. Pretty good. So I have lethal with Groundshaker and the Ogre Battler if it gets to hit the orb again, so it's pretty good for me right now. It looks like I could just win off the back of this now. My opponent needs damage, so Gift of Steel clear. It's pretty tidy here, but I just build a Groundshaker right next to my opponent's orb. We'll take a lake over here for some Archons in the future, if the future ever happens. It's looking pretty bleak for ready combat right now. Could drop the Grimguard. Oh, Crystal Flower. Okay. Flower power. We're just going to +1 and pass because this opens us up to +1 next turn into Gemshell Tortoise here. Goes for the Axe Grinder. Okay. Now we could bold bargain it, but I don't really want to risk it. Because this represents lethal. My opponent's going to need something, like double Flame Burst maybe? Or just a Grimguard to hold it in place. Moves up. I'm assuming it's going to be Grimguard to keep this locked in, or just another Crystal Flower. Yeah, Grimguard, okay. Double Ogre Dance. This could go really wrong if it hits my other Ogre Dance. Another Gemshell Tortoise, that's pretty good. Let's play this. Can I play this first? I can play this first. I won't overdraw. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. It's a shame I can't get an aggressive lake somewhere. Lots of 6/6s. Double Firestorm would be pretty tasty here for my opponent, but I don't think it's going to happen. Still needs to deal with the Gemshell Tortoise on the top left-hand side. Not going to be easy, that's for sure. And there we have it. First victory of this episode, looking pretty strong. Combo AoE, always really good. And if my opponent didn't even overextend then, my opponent was very smart at like making sure that it didn't play into too much area effect removal. But that Garadan, just absolutely fantastic, you know, pushing damage, applying pressure with that Ogre Battler, and giving me the initiative and letting me take the win. So a good start this time. Red Yellow events was a bit shaky. Let's keep going and see if we can get some more wins. Alright guys, into another match. Looking pretty good so far. Alright guys, into another match. Divine Guardian, fantastic pickup for us. I'm just going to throw these. I'm just going to keep the Guardian. Ground Shaker is another card I'd like to find in my opening hand, but I'm always prioritizing this Divine Guardian. It's a great turn 1 play, can set a very early collection, and this deck can be Faeria heavy and Faeria extensive, especially since there's so many high cost cards. You're relying on your bargain cards to bring them down. Now I really like going, I guess I like going first with this deck in most cases, because I want to start collecting straight away. Now I do make up for it with a bit of Faeria back from the Explore, which is not too bad, but generally want to go first because then I'm on the play and then I can defend a little easier, rather than my opponent taking initiative very quickly. Now, it very much depends on what my opponent is playing. This could be Blue Jump, this could be Dream Reaver. I've seen a few Dream Reaver decks about recently. So the problem I have here is I'd like to play Ground Shaker on the opposite side to start collecting, but my main issue with that is the Ground Shaker is just going to sit here and not do a lot. But maybe I'm okay with that, I don't know. Let's just take the lake and collect, and we'll pass. We'll see what my opponent plays first, because I might want to play Ground Shaker as a defensive card, like here for example, to defend against any potential threats like Triton Warriors, or maybe a Gabrian Archon. So there are a few things that could be placed here, which could be a big problem for my Divine Guardian. Now hopefully I pick up, maybe I pick up a Bullbargner or something. Bullbargner can actually be a little awkward here because I have the Ogre Dance. That's one of my major concerns with the bargain cards, is they can be quite clunky if they're in your hand. Is he going for Windfall? Yeah, okay. +1 into Windfall, probably into Archon? No? Okay, very interesting. Into Mochi. Alright. Oh, another Divine Guardian. Feels good. So now I can set up a Divine Guardian on this side. And you notice I put a mountain here instead of a mountain here. And the idea is this mountain represents a defensive land spot for my Ogre Battlers and my Ground Shakers. So I can play them on these lands. If I made this a lake, I wouldn't be able to set up a taunt here if I needed it. So now we can use this Ground Shaker as a way to leverage the board on the left-hand side. And it's going to be a blue-red mirror. But this deck's running Spring Mochi, so it's probably not running bargain cards. And this Gabrian Archon showing up to cause some trouble. I'll actually pick up the Windfall here. Interesting. Guess we can dance. We hit this. That's fine. This is in a weird position, so I'm going to take advantage of that and just build. Let me build a lake here and move my Guardian into double collection. And we'll take a mountain here for Garadan and for our Ground Shaker on the follow-up. Like I said, these are positioned in a very strange place because, yeah, this needs to move past the Spring Mochi before I can even do anything. So unless it's like a Shifting Tide or a Sunken Tower, then a double neutral move and clear the Guardian, I think I'm in a good position. Gonna lead with a mountain. Probably pass. Yeah. To be expected there. Okay. So now we can go into Garadan. I'm sorry, Garadan Ground Shaker. We'll take the Windfall first. And then we'll play the Ground Shaker. We can move this back as well, just to make sure it's out of harm's way. So say that, for example, this gets Frogified and the Mochi clears it, this Archon could then move down here and finish off my Divine Guardian. So I've positioned it out the way just so it's easier to keep this alive. Now I get Gemshell Tortoise, 2 of them next turn. And depending on what I draw, I might play... Well, I'm probably going to play both of them anyway, because I draw the card and I copy it, so they're going to be 2 different targets each time. But I do play a little bit into double Firestorm, which I need to be cautious of, so maybe I only play 1. It's going to be a Fire Elemental, okay. Moves across. Probably just trade with the Ground Shaker here. I really want to draw Firestorm or Garadan. Ideally Garadan. I'd rather draw Garadan in this situation because I put something quite aggressive down. You know, a 6/6 fly with charge 2 would be very helpful in this situation. But no Gary in sight. Feels bad. Alright, we're going to collect off here anyway. That's going to happen. We can move this into double collection. Yeah, let's drop a turtle. Let's see what we get. Double Archon. Again, I don't want to really play into Firestorms. That's my problem here. If I play another Gemshell Tortoise, I just get Firestormed. And I can't really play this because this has made things awkward. So I am going to pass here. Now my opponent can run the Fire Elemental and the 2/1 into my Gemshell quite easily. But I think that's fine. I'd rather that happen than me play, say, another Gemshell Tortoise and get Firestormed. That would be really sad. Because even 1 Firestorm here is not too bad. 1 Firestorm is pretty good for my opponent because you could Firestorm, run a Fire Elemental in, move this down, run this into the Divine Guardian. I'd have a 0/1 Divine Guardian on the side. But at least the Firestorm is used then, and I'd be a bit more... I think I'd be more willing to play more onto the board after seeing some area of effect, because I am expecting it. Now, one thing I do have to consider as well is Meteor. Meteor could definitely happen, especially with Fire Elemental, you know, building those mountains. Let's just go for a clean kill on the Guardian. I feel like my plan now is to set up an aggressive lake here, so maybe double neutral into lake and then into Archon. Commander. Oh, I would really like a Firestorm at this point. Firestorm would be really good. Maybe I do draw for it. Okay. Let's take a turtle. No Firestorms, no Garadans. Picked up all my bargain cards, which is really awkward. One of the flaws of this deck is the bargain package. It can be incredibly powerful in one game, and then the next game it is so clunky. It's like you can't really navigate around it that well. It takes a bit of patience, I think, and sometimes you don't always have that amount of time to really kind of tune your hand into a place where the bargains are not too bad. That's not always a luxury you'll have, especially with Gemshell Tortoises. I mean, if I was playing against a deck which couldn't potentially have double Firestorm, like, let's say I was playing against mono green, for example, I'd be dumping my hand right now. I just play everything, but I need to be more aware of cards like Firestorm, cards like Meteor. I have to respect them. Another Archon. Alright. I'm going to take an Ogre Battler. I'm going to move this down. So I'm splitting all my guys up. I don't want to get Meteored. So yeah, I'm just trying to spread everything across. This could actually be a dream. You know, could Aurora's dream with this much Faeria? I think my goal is to get a lake here if I can. Don't think it's going to happen. I think a Firestorm's going to finally happen. Or a Garradam, one or the other. I've been waiting for it. Firestorm, okay. Maybe Firestorm number 2? This might get Phantasmed? Maybe a Phantasm? Water Elemental. Into Hellfire. Okay. Alright, so we've seen a lot of AoE now. I'm more willing to play these Archons down. I'm going to start with my 1 costs to make my parking cards a little better. It's going to be a mountain into a bargainer. Okay. So yeah, let's... Let's get a couple of these down. I should draw in first, actually. Draw last. Do I want to... I don't think it makes any difference. This is the problem, right? It's just really awkward. At least my next 2 bargains will be decent. So I've taken control of the board again. I've got some durable creatures as well, so I can soak up another Hellfire this way. It's a shame 2 Guardians have gone, but I really wanted to set up that early collection, so I'm hoping I draw my next Guardian quite soon, because it's a bit of insurance, you know, making sure that if I am low on life, I can just drop a Guardian down, and hopefully that'll keep me in the game a little bit longer and get me some time. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good now. There's not going to be a Meteor unless he bargained a Meteor. And then what do you Meteor? I guess you Meteor these lands, which is not too bad. I'd put me down to 1. So I'd have to rebuild my lakes. I'd have to rebuild 2 lakes. Is that just a Hellfire? No, he bargained a bargain. Okay. I can double neutral along here. Move, hit, move, hit. Clear out all the bargainers. I'm double collecting on this side. I'm going to try collect into the next turn. Then I'm probably going to play maybe another Archon. Oh, wow. Okay, it's a king. Good old kingy. I haven't seen my king yet. So what do I want to pick up now? Probably just Firestorm. Firestorm is a pretty good draw for me. I don't want any more Archons. Stop giving me Archons. Come on. So this can kill this. This can kill this. It's a little bit... I guess killing this and killing this makes a difference. So we should go for the... we should definitely go for a Firestorm. Well, I do find my king finally. It's not really that big a deal. I can do this. Do this. Get my own bargainer down. Might as well bargain something, right? Oh, that's pretty good. For the ogre. I want to be careful of Firestorm here, guys. I know I keep saying it, but I need to be cautious. So we're going to pass, I think. I think passing's pretty good here. I can move this bargainer into the double collection on the left-hand side. And then I can maybe double neutral next turn if I don't need to draw. And then set up aggressive lands. Or maybe just lake here, then set up the Archon. I hope that's not pretty good. I hope that's just like, I don't know, an Archon or something, or a Water Elemental. The problem with this, the problem with the build I'm playing against, although he's in a winning position, King, you don't get a lot of value out of King because you're going to hit stuff like Spring Mochis and Firestorms, which are pretty decent, as you can see. But like Spring Mochis, for example, are going to be really bad hits from the King. I saw Water Elemental as well, another card that's not going to be very good off King. Whereas I feel like ESofDawn's build, which is this based on, I've just taken out the Meteors, is very optimized for good bargains, good Gemshells, and good Magnus. So ESofDawn made a really, really solid deck when he designed this originally. I said I've made some tweaks, but it's mainly because I don't feel Meteor's that good anymore. Oh, what a draw. That is a fantastic draw, guys. Okay. So I am going to take a draw again because I do want to find Firestorm. I don't want to give this any more value if I can avoid it. Well. Okay. Windfall? Alright. Back up we go. I think it's worth playing an Archon. If I play it this side and this side gets Meteored, I'm not that bothered. Let's play a 0-cost one. Keep our Faeria next turn for Magnus. Magnus, sorry. It's turned into quite a match, isn't it? I'm not even sure if I can win this. It's hard to tell at this point. I am holding my opponent off. That's for sure. And I have a lot of area of effect removal coming to me soon. I have a Garadan, I have 3 Firestorm, I also have 1 Gemshell remaining as well. And I have a lot of Ground Shakers. I think I have 2 in total. So I do have a lot of removal coming to me eventually. So if I could just hold my opponent off from this aggression, if I can stabilize here, I feel like I can definitely turn this game around. Because I'm slowly starting to out-collect my opponent. So all our economy cards like Windfall and the Bold Bargainers, once they're gone, you know, I'm gonna have a fairer advantage in the long term. This is a Crystal Flower. Don't say it's a Crystal Flower. Okay, it's a Water Elemental. +1 into Firestorm again. So I do lose my Collector on the left-hand side, but this is a trade, and I'm absolutely fine with that. That's pretty good. And there's my Firestorm. Okay. So now we're going to get a little aggressive here. We're going to get a Magnus down. My opponent collects off the left-hand side. I get to clear it with the Bold Bargainer. Failing that, if my opponent decides to extend another Water Elemental then, and maybe another creature, Firestorm could line up quite nicely. Mill is definitely a possibility, but putting a 4/8 down seems pretty good, especially when I have a lot of heavy hitter cards left in my deck, like Firestorms and Garadan. Again, a Garadan reduced to 0 is going to be absolutely incredible. And I am demanding an answer from my opponent. I'm saying, do you have the answer to this? And it's going to be Hellfire. So Magus gets to soak up a lot there for me. And this Water Elemental gets to run away. Okay. Once I draw a double Firestorm is an option. Let's get this orb damage in. That's really good. That's a fantastic draw for us. It's not a fantastic Magnus target, but it's a very good draw because now I can make sure that I don't die, which is always pretty good. Now I need to decide, I probably have to play this around the last Hellfire. So I'm going to stick this down here. And if my opponent develops any creatures onto the board to try and push some lethal damage, I do have Firestorm as an option, because my opponent doesn't have a lot of Faeria to work with. And he's taking 10 damage next turn, so I'm going to be able to set up lethal with just 1 Archon. and one Ground Shaker, one Magnus hit. So it's a tricky match, this one. I've only got some strong aggression off of those elementals, but they're gonna get a lot worse now going into the late game. That's the problem. This is why I feel ESofDawn's build is just so solid. It just makes the best out of the bargain cards. It does have an Archon left. Oh no! I really needed to hit that on bargain. Maybe I'm able to get Garadan here. Huh. That's interesting. Okay, I'm very dead to Meteor here. I don't know. I feel like I can win. Hellfire is going to be a big problem because he can hit my orb, pop the Divine Guardian, and then Hellfire me because he has an Faeria now. He can Meteor me. Oh, it's going to be a Hellfire to start things off. Should have hit my orb first. Am I going to win now? I should have hit my orb. So, hit my orb, crack my Divine Guardian, Hellfire me. But the Hellfire only did 1 damage to me anyway. I don't know. Did it make a difference? Feels good, guys. Let's see what Kingy gets us. It's going to be a Ground Shaker. Feels good. Well played, Tom. That was a very difficult match to navigate. And yeah, it actually turned out to be a pretty crazy game overall. But yeah, let's keep going, guys. I am really enjoying this deck. Let's get into some more matches and see if we can keep winning. Alright, guys, another match. We had a fantastic game last time. I was really happy with how that went out. It was a bit crazy, but there's nothing wrong with a crazy old match. And we are going to keep 1 Ground Shaker here. I know I'd like to get those Divine Guardians, but I don't mind playing this turn too. Oh, and it looks like I'm going to get a Mountain of Ground Shakers as my opener. Let's see what my opponent gets up to turn 1. It's going to be double neutral, so Ground Shaker could be pretty handy here going forward. I like Divine Guardian because, you know, you just get to start collecting early. I do bang on about it, but we'll see what type. Oh, it's green. Oh, man. I think I played against this earlier. This might be the crazy match I was talking about earlier with the mono green. We'll have to see. So yeah, let's make sure we get the defensive lands on our own wells so we can collect off our own wells to make sure we get the Faeria we need to defend. This is a very important fundamental when playing against any kind of rush deck. And wait a minute, this is some spice right here. We have green red. I'm gonna wait for Magnus. Like, Magnus is my next play for sure, because how does a green red deal with Magnus without Crystal Flower? So I'm kind of banking on my opponent not having access to that Crystal Flower. It's gonna be a Grimguard, hopefully not a Gift of Steel. No Gift of Steel is pretty good here because I just clear it and then I just play Magnus. Like I said, kind of hoping there are no Crystal Flowers in this deck, because then I spend a lot of Faeria and didn't get a lot of payoff, because this can just trade, plays Crystal Flower. So I'm kind of making a high risk play here. Grimguard. +1. Mace Man. Okay, so just these guys are back. Let's see what I get. Firestorm. That's pretty good. Divine Guardian over here. Nice, out of the way, not really getting involved. She's got some stuff to do, like collect me Faeria. So that's the plan there. Excuse me a sec, guys. I'm gonna get some amazing value out of this. And if the Grimguard decides to just hit the orb here, I can Ground Shake, I can finish it off, and then Magnus gets another proc. Oh, gonna finish it off. Bolt Bag, and that's pretty tasty. I'll take it. Alright. Take a lake. Let's take a mountain, actually, just in case we want a Firestorm next turn. If I hit this, I'll just be really sad. It's a 1 in 5. Okay. Okay. I didn't hit. I hit something really good, actually. I hit the Gemshell. I also proc the Archon to get the power up as well to become a 6/6. Double neutral. Interesting. Let's see what this brings us first. Look at that hand. I can spend 12 Faeria and deal 12 damage to the entire board. That's not including Garadan. If I was to spend 22 Faeria, yeah, there's no surprise there. just yeah, Firestorm for days, and you can see why this deck is so fun and why I enjoy it so much. You can do crazy stuff like that. Not that it was relevant at this point, but just having that available was incredible. A good game. Let's get on to another one. Alright guys, another match. This time we're going up against a god rank player. This player has become a god already. Maybe I can learn a thing or two. Or maybe give him a good run for his money. And look, Aurora is in the Emperor's orb and has the Emperor's cards. Is Aurora secretly the Emperor? Maybe. Who knows? So nice to see the lake go off to the right here, especially if it decides to come down here, because this means the Divine Guardian can collect quite safely. Divine Guardian is also a strange one for my opponent to really judge what I'm playing. So until I play a lake, you can't really call what deck I'm playing, because Divine Guardian also features in the burn list, you know, the event burn. I don't know if you guys remember that. I did do a deck doctor on it a long time ago. So yeah, we'll just take the lake and we'll collect and we'll pass. So this little sturdy shell's going to swim off. I'm probably going to build up this way just so I can challenge it. And my opponent's probably going to do the opposite, build up this way to challenge my Divine Guardian. Yeah, Queen's Guard, very interesting. So this is probably an enchant deck of some sort. So yeah, let's do this into the mountain, into the Ground Shaker. And then we can take Lake here and play Archon. And then Archon does trade with this off the enchant, but I don't really mind because it stops us from collecting. Unless I just move up instead. See, I'm thinking of just moving. Because I can play the Archon to challenge this instead. So yeah, we can just do this. I'm going to move this back. We'll pass. We don't need to play the Windfall because we're not playing anything this turn, so we might as well keep this card secret, then use it on the follow-up. This might move backwards now. Enchantress. Frogify, clear. Okay, this little sturdy shell's getting some work done. Into a library. Now, library is a problematic card for me because I don't really have a way to deal with it. I think I go Mountain, Windfall, Ogre Battler here, Arc on this side, and then I can That'll be a 6/6, so it'll take a little bit extra from the Sturdy Shell to finish it off. And this way I protect my Divine Guardian. And that should give me enough Faeria next turn, as long as the Divine Guardian lives, to play Gemshell Tortoise on curve, which is always very handy. So is this a Dream Reaver deck, I wonder? Is this like some enchant Dream Reaver deck? I'm very curious. Fugoro, Merchant of Wonders. Frogify would be pretty good here as well. Phantasm wouldn't be too bad if he has an enchant to go with it. But it looks like the Sturdy Shell's running away from me. I can take my last lake, move up, clear this, finish this off, and then play Gemshell Tortoise and see what's going on. War Elemental. Actually, Firestorm's not bad here. Speak of the devil. Firestorm clears a reasonable amount. I think I wait. I think actually wait. I'm not going to hit this now. There's no point because Fugoro's going to collect off here anyway. Unless I take Lake, I Firestorm and I clear the Fugoro and I take control of the right side, which actually I feel is probably the best line here. So yeah, we take the Firestorm. This moves up. I get to collect off an additional well, which is always a bonus. Finish this off. And we can finish this off. And we're looking pretty good. We've taken control of the board. My opponent is keeping up with us in Faeria just because of the library. And of course the hand advantage is going to be pretty strong. But now my Archon actually challenges the library of this play because I can double neutral across and finish this library off. So that's some pretty good options going forward. I have the Gemshell Tortoise to follow up as well. We'll see what happens. Opponent takes a draw. So not blocking me from taking care of this library. This is very good. The old hand flick. Some people associate that with frustration. Like you just cycle through your hand like this because you're like, oh, I've got nothing to play. Other players probably maybe do it to think, you know, just a way to help them think. You know, Queensguard's pretty solid here, actually. It's going to keep my Archon in check. But I can play aggressive land now and just drop like a Gemshell Tortoise here, which then can challenge the library. I don't really have a good way to answer this off the top of my head. Let Emperor's command it. Okay. Hello, Gary. So Gary is pretty good here. If there was a time for Gary, it's now. Fortunately, I can't play in a very good position. This is fine though. This will suit my needs. And this Ogre Battle is slowly moving up towards that library. Garadan can take control of the right-hand side. The position's a bit off, but I think it's fine for now. I do need to produce some aggressive land just to apply pressure to my opponent's orb. And just make the library a bit of concern. Because I can still clear the library and, you know, reduce the hand advantage it produces, but also the Faeria advantage. But I could also use it as a way to race my opponent. Looking to land up here. I'm assuming this is a Dream Reaver deck. It probably has a few ways to heal. Could Dream Reaver here. Set me down to 10 and just, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just Dream Reaver by here because it makes Garadan a little more awkward, and then you set up the aggressive land for a bit later. I think I just race at this point. Just play like a Ground Shaker. Well, I play an Archon. If I play a Ground Shaker, I have the opportunity to follow up with another Ground Shaker and kill the library. I also deal a bit of damage to this, so it doesn't deal 10, it only deals 9 with an enchant now. Which can be pretty relevant. And this also lines up a Firestorm as well, because now if this hits into Garadan, it'll have 3 life remaining, and I'll be able to Firestorm. +1 into Beirut. The big Beirut. Alright. Let's dance. Pretty good. I guess I can get an extra lake here if I want. Do I kill the library? I think so. Yeah, I think I have to kill the library. Let's just take a mountain. See what the Gemshell tortoise brings us. Ground Shakers. So we have lethal. Gets to enchant. Yeah, pop my Divine Guardian. Ninja Toad? I can't really afford it. But yeah, it just goes to show how powerful Divine Guardian is. It's just such a strong card in this style of deck. I'm a big fan of the card. It's a great turn 1 collector. It's a great collector in general because it's cheap and it's durable. It can't be targeted. It also protects your life as well. So it gives you that time if you need to defend, but also gives you that endurance if you need to race. So it offers a lot. I think it offers a lot to control decks. And if you are playing a control deck, I'd strongly consider putting it in, because I think it's just a very solid card. Alright guys, last match for today. Double Divine Guardian. Well, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? Let's keep both of them. You can set up 2 collectors on opposite sides. We do get a little punished by Rush, unfortunately, but if I can set up early collectors, I'll go for it. We have the Bold Bargainer, which is a bit clunky, but if we draw just high cost cards going forward, Bold Bargainer could actually be really nice. And hello, my friend. Let's take this. Yep, and then we go Mountain on the opposite side, play another Divine Guardian, Lake, and then start collecting. So my opponent's probably going to build towards this Divine Guardian, without a doubt. Which makes the second Divine Guardian even better, because it can't be targeted by removal. Oh, is this a tow ship? Which way is it going? It's should come down. Down makes the most sense. So yeah, we'll just set up the other Guardian here. Yeah, well, that's fine. Because then we Lake, we move back, we then collect, and then we can play Bold Bargainer. Or we can play Ground Shaker if we find one. Which I'd be pretty happy with as well. Ground Shaker is probably my best draw. I'd be really happy for a Ground Shaker. Get some aggressive desert down. Another tow ship. Now I just want to draw more Firestorms. Well, didn't find it, unfortunately. So now you can take care of both of these, which is a problem. Do I just skip the collection this turn to make sure I get value? Yeah, we're gonna do it. Nice, we hit the Gemshell Tortoise, so we hit the most expensive card, which is always great. This unfortunately didn't get to collect, so it was a bit of a waste actually. I'm lining up for a Firestorm here, or at least I'm trying. I'm going to be a Faeria off Firestorm, but I get to continue collecting. Doesn't kill the Divine Guardian. Wow, doing all the work for me. Thank you very much. Keeping the Divine Guardians there. What do I need? Ah, man, I don't think I can do this. I don't have enough. I don't have enough mountains. And Ranger. I guess the good thing is I can kind of gear up towards this now. And by moving this back, I'm forcing the Oversky tow ships to clear my Divine Guardian. So I'm not letting this get away with it with a campfire. These guys have to go for my Divine Guardians instead of pushing orb damage this turn. And now hopefully my opponent overextends and I can just have a very nice Firestorm. Yeah, land's pretty good here, just double collect. I can see a pass coming here. This is a pretty good pass. 3 creatures on board, don't really need to play anything else. Colossus, don't like Colossus here. I think it's a little greedy. Well, let's see what happens. So my Gemshell Tortoise can clear the Colossus. If the Colossus decides to go for orb damage, I can just set up an Ogre Battler, and then Ogre Battler actually lives. You know, it will live to tell the tale against this. Oh, actually, that's not going to be an option, unfortunately, because I don't have a mountain. But I can creation this now. That's pretty good. But I'm gonna have to set Ogre Battler this turn, unfortunately. Yeah, so let's just do that, and then we'll +1. We'll get some Faeria back. We're both a bit Faeria starved now, but I have the bigger creature. Frogify is a massive swing here, but I do get the +1 into Ogre Battler again, so I do have some decent options, I think. Let's just gonna go back and collect, which tells me there isn't an answer currently for this Ogre Battler, which I'm pretty happy about overall. Manta Rider, okay. So we're going to the other Ogre Battler now, I think. We just collect, play Ogre Battler, and +1 again. So setting up our defenses to kind of fend off all these weenies. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to draw a bargain card now. A bargain card would be really solid. Of course, hitting Aurora's Creation wouldn't be good value, but if I can essentially 1 cost a Battler, might not be too bad as a follow-up. But I'd ideally want to draw, say, Ogre Dance next turn, Ogre Dance into Windfall, and then I would have, 12 Faeria to work with. Should be really strong. And then I can go into Garadan, or I could go into the King. So I'd have a lot of really good options. Shifting Tide. Okay, going for orb damage. Into Campfire. He's really trying to apply pressure and finish me off here. He's going to come down and collect. I think I'm okay with that. It allows me to kill the Mystic Beast. And then the bargain card showed up. Feels good, guys. Okay, let's bargain. Not the best. Let's get rid of the double collector on the left-hand side. Cutting it a little short here. You know, it's a little dangerous for me to be in this position. But I'm feeling okay about it. I still have my taunt. I have a 3/4 to defend as well. I also have my other ogre battler on the left-hand side. So I'm going to clear that guy out. +1 into maybe a Colossus. It's going to go behind. Now I'm going to drop King in front of that. Yeah, let's move this back. Cover this desert. Drop the King. And +1. So between the King and the Bold Bargainer, I can finish off. Wait, well played? Well, there's no Nightmare. Oh, he has a Flash Wind. Feels bad. Well, that was a little unfortunate. Did have the Flash Wind there. That looked like a pretty difficult matchup for me to manage, especially with the early toe ships. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance of this deck. I strongly recommend playing it. It's a lot of fun. And just, yeah, if you enjoy control decks, I think this could be one of the best ones out there right now. So yeah, that wraps up this episode of Become a God. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, drop a subscribe to keep up to date of when our content goes live. You can also check out the previous episodes of Become a God from this week, which features Green Red Crackthorn, and it also features Red Yellow events. Next week, I might continue just playing this deck. I wanted this the first week as an opportunity to explore some different archetypes, but I've really enjoyed this deck, and if you'd like to see more of it, be sure to let me know in the comments. But I'm gearing towards playing this deck again next week, so I hope you guys will be happy with that, and we can have some more fun with this list. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Blue Red Gemshell.